If you've joined us, we'll get started about 2 o'clock. This is Dana here at the State Department. But if you've joined us early, we will start at 2 today. So stay tuned.
Hi. Hold on just a moment. Yeah.
me. It reminds me of your middle school days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the second you walk in, Belinda's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. I'm still doing everything else I do. Just
Doing
adding
this
that.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just mainly because of COVID and plus it's a lot of hurry.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I'm good. I'm
Good to
glad
see
that you're
you.
liking it.
Good to see you. Thank you. Newcastle School this morning. Where have you? Trying to call what? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can help you. Hold on. Hi, Candace. This is someone that's trying to call and get their student enrolled. I'll let you talk to them. Hold on. Oh, okay. Can you help them? Is there anybody that can help them? Okay, well, I'll let you tell them that they need to do it to, they can do it online, and you can have them that. So. Yes, yes. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah. This is so funny. This reminds me of what my daughter-in-law and son had it on all their tables
Oh, with the wedding?
at their wedding.
Yeah.
They had this, they had peonies, they had yellow, they had the light colored peonies kind of on both
Oh, yeah,
sides.
I thought that was pretty.
And then they had,
Some kind of fiddler.
it was eucalyptus.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it was the small kind of eucalyptus.
Yeah.
And then just some kind of little, what is that called? That kind of cacti thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, kind of like these. I mean, they
Yeah.
weren't like that, but yeah. But yeah, so it looks a lot. So every time I come down here, I think of the
Makes you
wedding.
think about their wedding.
Yeah. And I went ahead and called and took care of them.
Okay.
So, yeah. If
Okay.
you just, you send out an email after you let them know it's been approved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you, I mean, usually, is that how you?
Well,
do
I go
things?
ahead and put it on the calendar
Right.
when I get it done, so they can start it in pretty probably.
Okay. Well, and it's fine. I mean, I called her.
Just for school stuff, and then I figure if there's a problem, then you can call me and cancel it.
Okay. So you've already got, but you send it back to them so they know it's good?
Oh, I need to send this back to them?
No. No, you don't. You probably need to keep this. But I meant,
Because it's on the calendar.
when they send it to you and you put it on the calendar, you don't send them an email saying, yeah, it's clear. It's okay if you don't. I'm just asking what your protocol is.
Well, I've just been putting it on, and I think it's approved until if I hear different.
Oh, okay. So as far as you're concerned, as far as with them, they think it's okay.
Mm-hmm. What?
All right, we're ready to get started. Jennifer will be in just a few moments. It's about 5 minutes till 2. We will get started about 2. So thank you guys that are already on the call, and hang with us and we will get started. One thing I'm going to say to the group that's on here now that are listening, just remember when you're doing your claims, we sent out a mass email this morning that you have to have your claim in by tomorrow by 10 a.m. for it to be paid for this week. We moved that deadline up from noon just because there is a holiday in midweek and the State Department of Education will be closed on Wednesday. Just wanted to make that announcement. I'm pretty sure we'll make that announcement again. Also, on your seamless summer claim, some of you are calling and asking the question, I think my seamless summer claim has been entered, but I can't see it on the view claim summary. The view claim summary only works with the National School Lunch, School Breakfast Program. When you're clicking on that view claim summary in eClaims, or not, I shouldn't say eClaims, in CARS, you will not see any information in there for your seamless summer claim. That view claim summary, again, is only for your National School Lunch and School Breakfast claims that have been entered. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. Jennifer's getting logged in and everything, so we'll get ready and get started here in just a sec.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Most stove graves off of here. Springfield, Mississippi, Four State, Springfield, Cisco, Ohio, there it is. Somebody stole it.
You stole it?
I said somebody, not somebody stole it. Got 2 weeks of graves down in there. What a nice picture of her boobies.
The link. It's really pretty. Is that the one she's wearing for her family pictures?
Yeah.
And Courtney has it in Rust.
Where'd they get it?
Baltic born.
I don't know what that is.
They're like $75, so they're not cheap, but
But,
for family pictures.
it looks awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the green. The Rust is really pretty. And
Okay, we're gonna give it just about another minute. The number of participants keeps increasing, so I don't want to start till we kind of levels out a little bit. So give us just another minute or so. Thank you.
1 second, Jada. I'm gonna throw this away. What is going on here? Hold on 1 second.
Sorry, I was muted. We'll go ahead and get started. It does look like the number of participants has leveled off, and I don't want to keep anybody.
1 minute. I'll be right back. I'll be
So,
right back.
Since we've last had a call, we did receive several memos, no new waivers or anything like that, but several memos involving some Q&As, and we've always uploaded those into CARS, so those are there. The first one, and most of the information in them is information we've already given you. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this chat down and so I can see my slides. So there was a memo, SP 01 2021, which was a Q&A, and then there was an 04 2021. And those are typically numerical. The I will tell you that SP 02 2021 was just for state agencies as far as the data we have to gather to do our monthly, well, 30-day reporting, 60-day reporting, and 90-day reporting, which is why we're having to track everything you all are doing is so we can report it to USDA. So that one wouldn't be posted because it doesn't apply to you guys. And then the 03 2021 deals with fresh fruit and vegetable. And basically this just extended everything they already had allowable for fresh fruit and vegetable through the school year 2021. So we have already discussed that, but again, these are all in CARS. Sometimes for no sound, getting out and getting back in helps. And then if you be sure and mute yourself on your end.
I muted everyone.
Everyone's muted? Okay, there was somebody saying they could hear some kiddos, and so you may have been hearing some background noise in our office, so we've closed the doors now. Okay, so I'm going to go through these slides, and then I'll hit on some high notes for the memos. We will be discussing memos, the SP01 and SP04 2021 here in just a few minutes. If you want to go ahead and forward, Dana. Okay, the SP03 was the fresh fruit and vegetable. Okay, so we finally did get some guidance from USDA regarding how we are to conduct reviews this year for school ARs, for SSO, and for SFSP. So currently the child nutrition, our office is on a 5-year AR, which is the administrative review cycle. They have recommended that we go ahead and ask for a 6th year and move all reviews back a year. So if you were set to have an administrative review of your child nutrition this school year, that will be moved to 21-22. I have not submitted our waiver request, so it's not 100% approved, but I've been told that that's the plan they would like to see. So the reason for this is USDA national office will not allow us to review. What we were wanting to do was review either whatever program you were operating. So if you were operating SSO, we were going to review that program and then several other multiple things that have to do with the AR to be able to count that for an AR. And they said, no, that's not allowable. So we've had to backtrack over the last several weeks on what we're going to do. And so I'm going to submit a waiver to add a 6th year to our current 5-year plan. And every year's review will be moved back a year. Now, what the field staff, this includes procurement reviews, as the slide says. Some of you have been contacted by Robin Dickerson of DWG Incorporated CPA. They were told this morning, just this morning, that they needed to stop with procurement reviews because we had found out last week. I had the field staff in meetings last week. David Gandel's office has been without power, so we haven't been able to connect until today. So this morning they were contacted and told they would have to stop reviews. So this includes ARs and procurement reviews. Now, what the field staff are going to do is for anybody, any program, any of you out there that are operating SSO, USDA's encourage us to just go out and provide TA. We've come up with just a short little checklist, and we're just going to come visit you and just observe, make sure things are going as they need to be going. If you're on summer feeding, we do have to do and with summer feeding, the regulations are, if you're brand new to summer feeding, we have to do a review. If it would normally be your third year for your summer feeding review, we're going to be doing some of those as well. So that's how we will handle summer feeding. These will be done by your area consultant that you're used to dealing with, just FYI. They will be reaching out to you. We don't have a firm list for summer feeding because we're continuing to add a few and adjusting that still. Summer feeding is a little bit still in limbo. So we will, once that kind of levels out and we know what summer feeding is going to look like and everybody's where they need to be program wise, we will adjust accordingly and you'll be hearing from your area consultant. I cannot tell you on this call today if you will be having a summer feeding review or not. So just FYI on that. That's what we're doing as far as school programs goes this year. We finally did get, we'd been hearing things from USDA on how they would like us to do it, but we finally got some good solid information on how to handle that. Is there another slide, Dana? This is okay. So, and also just so you know, we still have no information on low income. Typically that's tied to your claims. We've done away with that for now until we get guidance. Again, I think I said on a call several weeks ago, and I think we're past 2 weeks, I think we're longer than that. The decision on how that's going to be handled from what we've been told is that has to come from the US Department of Education, USDE, not USDA, which is who we operate under. So I've been in constant contact with the executive director of the title programs who uses our low income information for the school funding, and they've received no guidance as of last week when I talked to her regarding numbers for low income. So right now, there's nothing that can be done about the low income report. The PLE, we're still waiting on guidance for that, even though that's further out than the low income and even verification. We don't have anything on that at this point. Several emails have come in regarding your state matching. Okay, keep in mind that state match is your number of lunches served in the previous school year on National School Lunch. So any meals August, some of you maybe if you started in July of 19, it's any lunches served in school year 19-20 under Nslp. So we will be paying that out like we normally do in January and May. That's not going to change. Now, what my concern is, and I know I'm jumping the gun, but USDA needs to be aware, and I've sent an email. They've asked me to send them an email about that when I asked. My concern is what about state match for school year 21-22 when they're looking at this school year and you're not serving any lunches through Nslp. That's my concern. They're aware of that and they claim they're looking into it. I don't have any guidance. Let's just worry about what we got right now, but we will continue to pay state match. We're going to answer questions in just a few minutes. So we will get to those questions in just a few minutes. And this is just a reminder, all the calls we've had through this entire process, we continue to talk about food safety. And we are still seeing in some instances where if you're sending home meals, you're not including reheating instructions. You guys really need to be doing that if you're not. I know a lot of you are, but we do get a lot of calls in here. And Just a reminder that food safety must be followed at all times. You need to keep cold foods cold and hot foods hot. If you're sending home meals that are required to be reheated, heating instructions must be included in the bag for the meals requiring heating. Keep that in mind. This is only going to cover you guys in the long run if something happens. Just FYI. And I'm going to go ahead and go to these memos real quick, and then we're going to come back to the chat and answer questions. So I'm just going to hit on some high points in SP01 2021. Most of this information was nothing new. It was some information we'd already given you all along. They were just more or less putting it in writing for us. And it's talking about how you have the choice to pick between SSO and SFSP, and even the choice to stay on Nslp if you had chose to do so and claim the meals categorically free, reduced, and paid, which we've told you that all along. We encouraged you to do SSO or SFSP so you could serve all the kiddos for free. And that was just easier in general. And that also allowed you to be able to serve, the extension of the waivers allowed you all to be able to serve in an open site siblings as well. So the one thing that's in this memo is number 5, talking about how to do your October numbers. And again, that is, that's a Department of Ed decision that has to be made. And so that's brought up there. Many of you over the last several calls, last several months have asked if you can continue to sell a la carte items and beverages if you're operating on site, and you can. This just reiterates that and does say that food and beverages sold in competition with reimbursable meals on the school campus during the school day must meet competitive food standards described in 7 CFR 21011, regardless of whether the school is operating national school lunch, school breakfast, or summer feeding seamless summer. So keep that in mind. You still have to follow Smart Stack standards with your a la carte items. And then it defines the school campus and it defines the school day as well. And that doesn't change from what it has always been. It talks about serving national school lunch, after school snack, which was the ASSP is how we abbreviate it, when you're still operating summer feeding and SSO. And we've told you all along that you all are able to do that because they can get their 2 meals through summer feeding or SSO, and they can get a snack through after school snack or at risk. This talks about that as well. This talked about weekend meals, which we'd already told you could do weekend meals. Keeping in mind on your weekend meals that you must ensure the CACFP at-risk centers serving weekend meals also provide a weekend at-risk enrichment activity, either in person or virtually, on the weekend days for which meals are served. An example they give is if an at-risk center or even one of school site serves meals intended for consumption on Saturday, they must provide access to an enrichment activity for that Saturday. So, and then, let's see, that's the gist of that memo, the 01-2021. Now I'm gonna go to the one we just got a week or so ago, and it's the SP 04-2021. And several things in here are also, so can a school food authority, an SFA, operating an open summer feeding and SSO site with non-congregate meals service, serve meals to children not enrolled in the school, such as a preschooler? Yes, and we've told you that all along. And it tells you that you can do that. You can also still just serve congregate meals as well, but most of you are doing non-congregate meals. Then several go into CACFP, which I'm going to skip over those because that's nothing. One thing we didn't say, Dana, is the verification training Zoom meeting is November 18th at 1 in the afternoon. So we are doing a verification Zoom training. And has that gone out in cars?
I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll double check, and if not, we will be sending that out. But it is November 18th at 1 in the afternoon on a Zoom call. So that's for the verification reporting. The verification reporting deadline did get moved to February 28th, whereas it's normally due in here by, it's December, I believe, is when you normally do your verification. It has been pushed back to February 28th, and that will be discussed on that verification webinar as well, or Zoom call. It discusses, number 8 of this memo discusses, I'm just going to read it so I don't get it wrong. That might be best. May schools that were planning to conduct a Provision 2 base year during school year 2021, which is this school year, and then elected to operate summer feeding or SSO, calculate their NSLP SBP claiming percentages and still use 2021 as their Provision 2 base year? And the answer to that is no. Schools that operated summer feeding and SSO for all or portion of their 2021 school year will not have a complete base year counting and claiming data needed to establish monthly or annual percentages of meals counts by type. Therefore, generally, schools will be unable to conduct Provision 2 base years during school year 2021. However, where schools were participating in the 4th year of a Provision 2 cycle during school year 1920 and were ineligible for an extension because you didn't meet the socioeconomic data to be able to extend it, state agencies should consult with their FNS regional office for more guidance and on conducting a streamlined Provision 2 base year. Additionally, schools that operated National School Lunch, School Breakfast for the full 2021 school year may conduct a Provision 2 base year, and it discusses that. So the area consultants are aware of this, and we will have to probably handle this kind of on a case-by-case basis. It talks about how will state agencies calculate eligibility for severe need breakfast and the extra 2 cents in NSLP reimbursement. Schools operating a breakfast program may be determined eligible for severe need reimbursement if at least 40% of lunches served to students at the school site in the second preceding school year were served free or at a reduced price. SFAs may determine eligible for an extra 2 cent reimbursement if 60% or more of lunches served in the National School Lunch during the second preceding year were served free or at a reduced price. Therefore, calculations to determine eligibility for severe need breakfast funding and extra 2 cent NSLP reimbursement for the school year 2021 will be calculated using data from the 18-19 school year. FNS will issue additional guidance regarding eligibility determinations for future years. So they're only discussing this year at this point. There's a lot of things that what we're dealing with right now will affect down the road for multiple years to come. And we as states, when we have our regional calls weekly, we remind them of that. And so we keep them aware. I know you guys also email me periodically as far as what about this and what about that? And some things, we don't have guidance on. So that one, I'm not gonna go there. Okay, number 11 of the memo 04-2021, it says if an LEA is not currently providing meals through National School Lunch Program, is it still required to continue direct certification activities? And the answer is yes. You still need to pull direct cert at least 3 times per school year through the wave. And then it goes in to talk about states that don't have a system like we do, and it's not done automated. I'm not going to read all that to you, but you still need to pull your direct cert 3 times a year. Okay, we're going to go to the chat now and answer some questions. Sorry, I did not turn my phone off.
Verification training link is actually in CARS in that
Okay.
upcoming training.
Okay, under CARS, the verification link for the Zoom is in upcoming training on CARS. Dana checked while we were chatting. Okay, I'm going to scroll up. Give me just a second to find out where we are. Looks like starting with Tina. Do we need to do the verification report? Yes. And again, we're going to have the verification Zoom meeting on November 18th at 1 o'clock. And that can be found in upcoming trainings in CARS so that you can register or click on the link and get registered. Okay, Carrie, so I did SSO in the summer and I am on the regular review this year. Does this mean I will receive a SSO review instead? No. If you're up for review this year, because we're not operating National School Lunch, School Breakfast, USDA has asked us to do, or given us the option, and this is what we're going to do, so that the review can count and you're not getting a double review is really what it comes down to. And this is the slide that Oklahoma is requesting to extend the AR cycle to a 6th year. USDA does have to approve this request, but this is a plan that they are okay with, so it won't be an issue. So if you were to have a administrative review in this school year, 2021, it will be moved to 21-22. And this includes procurement reviews. And like I said earlier, the procurement person, the contracting company doing procurement review was just told this morning. I mean, this is very new information. So if she's reached out to your school, she just found out today that they have to be stopped because this also includes procurement reviews. So now there's a possibility you may have a summer feeding review, but we're waiting on things to level out in summer feeding to make that determination so that your area consultant will be in touch about that. I have sent a question, Dina, this is your question. How do we claim snacks on NSLP for those students who are not in our school district? I have sent that to USDA and I have not heard back from them. So I'm waiting on guidance on that. Because again, it's NSLP, should you only be claiming your students that are enrolled? So I'm waiting on guidance on that. And I may need to go ahead and make myself a note to contact them again because it's been a little bit since I sent that. So I'm gonna make a note of that. Okay, next question, Nancy. Jumped on the meeting about 4 minutes late. What was the first few screens? It was dealing with the 2 new memos and this administrative review guidance that's up there right now, Nancy. So it was just the memos that have come out since. And that would pertain to schools were SP 01 2021, SP 03 2021, which was fresh fruit and vegetable guidance. And it's just continuing the way it did towards the end of last school year, and SP 04 2021. That's what we discussed. Let's see, we have Tahlequah, Sequoia, and Cherokee Immersion. We are serving one site. Do I claim the immersion on my NSLP snacks or do I claim them on reimbursement? I'm not quite following, but I am having to, again, that may reference the question before that regarding after school snack and enrolled kids only or everyone. And I've sent that to USDA. Dina, you might reach out to Mona on that question. The next one, Anita, so if we send home weekend meals under the SFSP, do we need to have some form of academic enrichment? No, summer feeding doesn't require an enrichment, only the 2 snack programs. After school snack through NSLP and at risk through CACFP are the 2 programs that require an enrichment activity. Have the waivers for summer feeding been extended for the rest of the school year? Yes. You will be able to feed under summer feeding through the school year and then pick up in the summer if you choose to do so. I'm not sure what part of, some of those waivers won't go into the summer, but a couple of them do. I don't have that off the top of my head though right now without flipping through a bunch of waivers. Yeah, we kind of feel the same way, Glenette. I totally get what you're saying, and I'm not taking that as you being disrespectful. But nothing with verification has been waived through a nationwide waiver. And since it's regulatory, they're going to make you all continue. If you collected applications this year, you've got to go ahead and follow through with the few that you did get. I completely agree with you. And that's been a conversation that we have had within our region and our states asking that same thing, but nothing as far as doing verification falls under Regulation 7 CFR 245, and nothing with that reg has been part of the nationwide waivers or any flexibilities given to it. Are we still collecting free and reduced price meal applications? May I change my determination letter to tell parents they were approved as reduced or paid, but all meals are free this year? I would, there for the while, we were encouraging to keep collecting free and reduced meal applications because we had only been given approval through December, but now that we've been given approval through the end of the school year to do SSO and SFSP, you don't necessarily need to continue to collect them. You do need to do verification based on the number of applications you had on December or October 1st, though. Are you reading this one, Dana? I might need your help with this one just to make sure I don't goof it up. Since we are claiming summer, does it matter that all our expenditures are coded 763 and 764 instead of 766? I had already written them when we found out we were going to do summer all year.
To change them because all their revenue
Yeah, that's what I thought.
received in
Yeah,
summer.
you'll need to change that to 766 because you'll be receiving all your revenue through that program. So yes, and OCASA want it reported that way as well. Nancy, yes, you're pushed back another year. Correct. Correct. Yes, it's very quite possible if this is the first time you've ever applied for summer feeding that you will have a review. The requirements for summer feeding reviews are anyone brand new must be reviewed. Anyone that would normally be up for if they've done summer feeding for the last multiple 3 to 4 to 5 years or longer, it would be your third year. That's required. And then we have a dollar amount we have to meet in reviews as well. And so sometimes we have to add to that. So yes, there's a possibility. But yes, if you're new, yes. And we're waiting on some of that. Are our 3-year-olds allowed to receive supper meals even though they are not officially enrolled in our district but are housed here? Yes, you can send supper meals home. That would be like feeding a sibling, a 3-year-old sibling that wasn't enrolled in the school. Yeah, you can do that. Are we supposed to send reheating instructions each week or once a month with the virtual meal? I would do it with your weekly menu. Again, it's just going to cover you guys in the long run, just if something was to happen. When are we going to open up?
As far as I know, verification's open.
That's what I thought too.
The verification's open. It just doesn't, the whatever January claim or December claim.
It's not tied to a claim. Dana and I were just chatting. We believe the verification report is open. We normally have tied it to a claim and we took that away because of everything that's going on. Several of the things that are normally tied to a claim, we've had to take that out of the system. So you're going to hold off on your low income report because we still don't have guidance on how to complete it. Okay, as far as seconds and summer feeding, the intent with any of our programs is you prepare for 1 meal per child per day. Now, I have also asked USDA about seconds, and that was about 3 weeks ago in summer feeding, and they have not gotten back to me. So that's another thing I'm going to add to the question I've already got out there for them to follow up on. In summer, in a normal circumstance, when you're serving summer in May through August, you can claim up to 2% of your seconds. That's what I've asked USDA is if that's still the case. So I don't have an answer for that. But again, the intent is to, on any of our programs, is to prepare for 1 meal per child per day. Is SSO through the end of the school year 2? Yes, it is. Summer feeding and SSO have been allowed to extend through the end of the school year. Yes, Linda, we have heard that from multiple, not just our state, but on our weekly call with USDA, everybody is saying that. It's difficult to get a response for verification because parents know everyone is free and families are quarantined. We get it. If verification report is moved to February, do you still need to try to get documentation? I would follow the timeline for verification if you started it on October 1st that we have in our CACFP training, or CACFP, sorry, Child Nutrition Training Manual. Meant childcare for a second. If you started on October 1, I would just follow that timeline that's in the manual and finish it. And if they don't respond, they don't respond. Melinda, if we are doing summer feeding, can we serve offer versus serve at the middle school and high school sites and one tray choice at the elementary and ECC? Melinda, my assumption is you're referring to if they're eating on site. And yes, if you can do offer versus serve to where you all feel safe of letting them pick and choose, yeah, that's acceptable. Possibly want to keep accepting free and reduced apps for 30-day carryover. Yeah, and that's a good point, and they haven't addressed that yet either. So we don't have, and people are asking that as well on calls. There's lots of things we ask, we just don't get many answers sometimes. And we do ultimately, I will be fair, we get them, they're just much later than what we'd like them. So do we still do our counts for lunch and breakfast on the SSO and do the snacks on NSLP? As far as your monthly claim, yes. You do your breakfast and lunch claim in SSO. And then if you're doing snacks under ASSP, after school snack program, you'll do those under NSLP. That revenue coding question referred to summer feeding.
It would read either one, whichever program you're running, that's the program you're going to need to run your expenditures out of.
Okay, whatever program you're running is what you need to run your expenditures under. Federal programs is needing the low income report for some of their funding. Since we are doing SFSP, we aren't doing a low income report. Do you know what is to be used for federal programs? No. Now, they are using economically disadvantaged information for state aid, but for title programs, we have no guidance yet. And as far as I know, title programs, which is across the hall from us in this building, they are at Department of Ed, and they're the ones that use our low income report for funding, and they have received no guidance on what to do. All schools are in the same boat. I said that the reporting deadline for verification was extended to February 28th of 2021.
Somebody check the verification and it's not up.
Okay, good. Thank you for checking that. Okay, we will check on that. Dana's got a note. Okay. Unable. Okay, we're going to look into that. Since the SSO has been extended to the end of the year, do we have to do anything to our application? No, as long as your application in CARS was through the end of the year. If you need to go in and extend it, reach out to Becky or Nikki or Rhonda in the office to get that extended if you didn't put it in for the full year. We tried to catch most of those, but we may, there could be a possibility we missed a couple. There was a lot going on right then because they kind of, everything changed midstream on us. Regarding the project codes, I'm confused. When I turned in my SSO claim, it had to be split into breakfast and lunch. When the claim was paid by Department of Ed, the payment notice used were.
I'm with them. Yes.
Okay, hang on.
Seamless summer is 763.
Okay, yes.
I forgot that.
Yes, sorry, yes. Seamless summer is 763 and 764. Summer feeding is 766.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We got equipment grant, fresh fruit and vegetable grants running around.
Okay, so yes, thank you, Renita. Even though we started with offer versus serve at the beginning of the school year, can we switch to all components on site being served. Yes, you can change that. You just need to go into the application for that site into CARS and do that. Oh, my chat just jumped. Where did it?
We're back at Melinda
Okay, I think I found it.
Wilson. We're serving on site. Do we have to do offer versus serve in summer feeding?
You're serving on site. Do we have to do offer versus serve on summer feeding for elementary? No, you do not. If we are seamless summer, then our meals would include EPIC students also, even if not enrolled with us at all. That means you're probably serving like a grab and go setting, and that allows you to feed anyone that comes. So those meals, as long as you're giving them a reimbursable meal, you may claim those meals to children that are siblings of kids that are enrolled. They don't have to be enrolled in your school. If they're coming to get a meal in a grab and go setting at your site, you can feed whoever comes to get a meal. Just like we were doing in early on in COVID, March through May. They have extended all of that, extended all those flexibilities through the school year. Let's see, I'm sorry I was kicked off. Do we have an option with middle school and high school sites? You can do offer versus serve at your middle school and high school. Yes, I'm hoping I'm answering that the way you're wanting it or asking it. Anyone else? We are
Offer versus serve is only required in the
High
high
school.
school on National School Lunch.
Yeah.
So it's not required any other program.
Do you guys have, we're at the end of the chat. So we will, I was to be reviewed this year under NSLP and we switched to SSO. And I did SSO in the 18-19 and 19-20. So would I be reviewed on SSO this year? No, Carrie, your consultant will probably come out and just do some technical assistance and do our little checklist that we've developed just to make sure everything's good. No to filing a new application monthly.
Not following that.
I'm not following that question, Colvin.
Oh, no, we don't have to file
Oh.
a new seamless summer every 2 months. Tell them that we.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
okay.
think we're picking up on what you're saying. Early on in COVID, last school year, you had to do an application for 2 months at a time on seamless summer. And we've changed that. You were able to fill out your application for seamless summer by site and mark all months. We did change that, if that's what you're referring to. So check your site application for SSO and make sure that you have all your months, basically August to May at a minimum, checked. No, offer versus serve's not required at middle school. It's only required at high school under National School Lunch. Can weekend meals be served under SSO? Yes. Yes. No, SSO programs are not getting a full review. They're just going to have, we're going to have a technical assistance and just go out and check a few things and make sure that everything is going the way it needs to be. Meal patterns are being met, counts are being taken, the proper waivers have been submitted to be able to do the types of things you're doing in your district. Production records are being maintained. All those are still required. None of that has been waived. We're not necessarily doing a seamless summer review. We're doing technical assistance for seamless summer programs. Your area consultant that you normally deal with for all child nutrition is who will be doing that. Any others?
And I'm assuming our consultant's gonna notify them.
Mhm.
I mean, that was the last part of Wendy's question.
Yes, they'll be setting up appointments with you to do that, letting you know when they're going to come observe and just generally check on things. Paperwork needs to be maintained. Counts need to be taken. Point of service counts. Meal patterns need to be met.
CN labels.
CN labels for your processed foods. None of that stuff has been waived. Okay, we're at the end of the chat. Again, any more questions? Are things going okay for you guys? Staying busy, I'm sure. Counts staying up, counts dropping off. Anybody want to chime in there? Just out of curiosity? Good. You guys are doing great. Oh, counts are up. Great. Whoa, boy, jumping all around now. Okay, well, there's PEBT. That was extended into this school year, but the way they want it done, they have not given us guidance, so we can't do anything as far as PEBT. And as far as PEBT that has already gone out, that it's done. It's over. Nothing can be done. Nothing can be retro back. Nothing. The money had to be sent out by September 30th, and that has been done. Still swimming. Everyone good, counts. So some are dropping, some are good, some are dropping. So that's kind of thank you. Counts down, counts dropping up. So it's kind of 50-50 there. Valerie, if we had a summer feeding review last summer, would we maybe have another one? It's possible, but doubtful. It's all tied to the money. That's really, it's kind of it's a little bit hard to explain, but Tammy, we just shut the elementary down. Okay. Because of COVID or because of counts? Virtual counts are down. Paris, South Rock Creek counts up. Just keep swimming. That's right. You guys have done great. I don't know why they're telling folks to call the schools, Nancy. I honestly don't. I don't believe they've been given any guidance because as far as what's going to happen for this school year with PEBT, because anything that's gone out so far with PEBT has included both DHS and this agency. So I don't know why they're saying that. I don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry. Counts up one day and down the next. We're doing our best, Kathy. Thank you. Enrollment is lower and we're having classes on site. We have put a message out there that our virtuals can call and request grab and go meals if they want. Okay, good. Great. Tina, I don't have any of that information in front of me right now. I'm sorry. Reach out to your area consultant. Virtual day counts are down, but numbers maintaining while in school. Low, but enrollment dropped a lot from last year. Oh, Tammy, you had to close your elementary because of COVID. Okay. Afton is virtual starting tomorrow until November 30th. Okay. Still brick and mortar counts are up. Fingers crossed, schools closing around us. Yeah, the counts are up out there. COVID counts are up. Talk about schools in Oklahoma going virtual. I have heard nothing, Laura, about that. But some of the calls lately that I would normally be on have been postponed due to scheduling. So I'm sure there are things circulating out there about that. You know, a lot of colleges aren't coming back until after Thanksgiving until the first of the year. So that, I don't know. I haven't heard anything though. I do want to just go ahead and touch base with you all. We did receive an email last night from our administration that I've had my entire child nutrition staff back in the office for several weeks, several months. They've asked us to go back to teleworking. So please, when you call up here, know that we aren't sitting at our desk. I'm going to be here. Several of us will be here, but I've had to streamline is what I'm having to do. just know that leave a message no matter what. Your voicemail will go to their email and they will get you called back. Just please give a little bit of grace right now because we're going to have to readjust what we're doing as far as we were teleworking, we were back in the office. Now we're having to go back to telework for a little while. So just know that. I will be here to check mail and fax machine every day and get it to where it needs to go, because I know not only do some schools still fax things, daycare centers fax things. So yeah, I agree, Nancy. Grace has been the word, and it will continue for quite a while, I do believe. So, just again, just understand that we will get back to you. It just may not be quite as quick as normal as being in here or getting things, but they're not shutting down completely per se, but they just want streamlined numbers in the agency. So yes, if you want to email and ask them to call you, if you want to call their number and just leave a message, it will go straight to their email and they'll get back with you. So if schools go virtual and the grab and goes aren't picked up, what do we have our staff do? It's going to be up to your district. That'll be a district. Yes. Will schools still be funded for CNP staff? I can't answer that, Carrie. I know as far as our funding for CNP programs, we're fine. But I can't speak to how each individual school is set up and pays their staff and such. I have nothing as far as if there's going to be any type of stimulus that will help pay staff or COVID money. It's a political thing in DC, and we've all seen the news the last few weeks. We know what we're dealing with. They just continue to argue and not get anything done. I'm not hearing anything. Our regional office has not said anything or that they've heard anything either. I think I missed one up here. Hold on just a second. Nope, I got them all. Okay. I'm going to do one last call for questions. And then just for sake of everybody's time, I don't want to keep you. I know you're busy.
We'll probably plan a 3-week call because Thanksgiving.
Okay, that's a good point. Dana just mentioned we'll probably plan a 3-week call because of Thanksgiving holiday. Unless something's to come out and we need to get with you, we will get with you. But right now, the thing we're waiting on the most is what numbers are going to be used for low income report, and we don't have that right now. So you guys have a great Thanksgiving. If we don't talk to you before then, thanks for all you're doing and keep it up. You guys are doing great. We appreciate it. The kids appreciate it. Everybody appreciates it. We will talk to you after Thanksgiving unless something comes up and we feel like we need to reach out to you before that. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye.